Before this story begins, pause for 1 second. If you believe kindness still matters in this world, gently tap like, and if you love emotional stories that stay with you long after the video ends, subscribe to the channel. Now listen carefully, because one simple question changed several lives forever. Do you have an expired cake for my daughter? The bakery went silent. It was early evening when the bell above the glass door rang. The shop smelled of fresh vanilla and warm sugar, the display filled with perfect cakes, chocolate drips, strawberry swirls, golden frosting shining under soft lights. Behind the counter stood a man in an expensive coat, quiet, observant, his presence commanding without effort. Most people didn't know his face, but his name carried weight across the city. He was a self-made millionaire, someone who had learned to read people better than balance sheets. That's when the voice came again, hesitant, low, almost apologetic. Sir, I was just asking, do you have an expired cake? Maybe one you're throwing away? Everyone turned. The man speaking was thin, mid-30s, wearing a faded jacket with frayed cuffs. His shoes were worn down, his eyes tired but gentle. He held a small paper bag in his hands, fingers nervously twisting the handles. The baker frowned. We don't sell expired food, he said sharply. Health rules. The man nodded quickly. Of course. I understand. I thought maybe, something you can't sell. Today is my daughter's birthday. A few customers shifted uncomfortably. Someone whispered, that's sad. Someone else looked away. The millionaire didn't. He stepped forward, his voice calm. How old is your daughter? The man hesitated. She's turning 7 today. 7, the millionaire repeated softly. And why an expired cake? The man swallowed. She knows I can't afford one. But she still asked for cake. I told her, maybe bakeries throw some away at night. I didn't want her to sleep thinking I didn't even try. Silence fell heavy. The baker looked uneasy now. Sir, we really can't. I'll buy the cake, the millionaire interrupted. The man's eyes widened. No, I didn't mean. I insist, the millionaire said, turning to the display. Which cake does a 7-year-old like? The baker quickly brought out a small chocolate cake, freshly made. This one is popular with kids. The poor man stepped back. Sir, please. I can't take charity. The millionaire smiled gently. This isn't charity. This is a birthday. He paid, but instead of handing over the cake, he did something unexpected. He pulled out his phone and said, tell me where you live. The man stiffened. Why? Because birthdays shouldn't end at a counter. They drove together in silence through narrow streets until they reached a small, dim apartment building. The walls were cracked, the staircase smelled of dampness. Inside, a little girl sat on the floor drawing with broken crayons. Baba, she looked up, eyes lighting up. Her father knelt, his voice shaking. Close your eyes. When she opened them, she froze. A real cake. Chocolate. Candles. For me, she whispered. The millionaire watched as she clapped her hands, laughter filling the room like sunlight breaking through clouds. When she blew out the candles, she closed her eyes tight and whispered her wish. Later, as the girl ate happily, the millionaire noticed the bare shelves, the single mattress, the silence of a home carrying too many worries. What do you do for work? He asked. I was a mechanic, the man replied. Lost my job after the shop closed. I work day to day now. Whatever I can find. The millionaire nodded slowly. Come to my office tomorrow. The man stiffened again. Sir, I told you, I don't want. It's not charity, the millionaire repeated. It's opportunity. The next day changed everything. The man didn't get money. He got training. A stable job. Dignity. Months passed. Then a year. On the girl's 8th birthday, the bell of the same bakery rang again. This time, the man wore a clean jacket. Confidence sat differently on his shoulders. Beside him stood his daughter, smiling proudly. "I'd like to order a cake," he said. "The best one you have." And quietly, after paying, he added, "And please, if you ever see someone asking for an expired cake, tell them hope doesn't expire." The millionaire watched from a distance, smiling to himself. Because he didn't just hear a question that night. He heard love. He heard pride. He heard a father refusing to give up. And that, more than any business deal, reminded him why success only matters when it's shared. If this story touched your heart, like the video so more people can feel this message, and subscribe for stories that remind us sometimes the smallest kindness creates the biggest miracles. Before you scroll away, listen to this carefully. If you believe a single moment can change an entire life, press like right now. And if you enjoy emotional stories that stay in your heart long after they end, subscribe to the channel. This story begins with a question so small, yet so powerful, that a millionaire never forgot it. "Do you have an expired cake for my daughter?" The words didn't belong in a place like this. The bakery was glowing, warm lights, polished counters, glass shelves filled with flawless cakes. Everything inside whispered celebration, success, happiness. People laughed softly, choosing flavors, planning parties. And then there was him. He stood near the door, thin, nervous, his jacket too light for the cold evening. He waited until the line thinned before stepping forward. His voice trembled, not loud enough to demand attention, but just loud enough to be heard. "Excuse me, do you have an expired cake? Maybe one you're going to throw away?" The cashier blinked. "Expired?" A woman behind him sighed. Someone else frowned. "I'm sorry," the man continued quickly, "today is my daughter's birthday. She asked for cake. I thought maybe bakeries throw some away at night." The cashier hesitated. "Sir, we can't sell expired food." The man nodded, shame burning in his eyes. "I understand. I just wanted to ask." What he didn't know was that someone had been watching from the corner of the shop. The man in the dark coat hadn't come to buy cake. He owned half the buildings on this street. He had closed million-dollar deals without blinking. But this made his chest tighten in a way money never had. He walked closer. "How old is your daughter?" The poor man looked startled. "She's 6. Turning 7 tonight." "And she asked for cake?" "Yes," he said softly. "I told her I'd try." The millionaire glanced at the display. "What kind does she like?" The man shook his head quickly. "Sir, I didn't mean." "I'm not asking what you can afford," the millionaire said calmly. "I'm asking what makes her smile." The baker brought out a small chocolate cake with colorful sprinkles. "Kids love this one." The millionaire paid without hesitation. The father froze. "Sir, I can't accept this." "You already have," the millionaire replied gently. "When you walked in for your daughter. They didn't just leave with a cake. The millionaire offered to drive them home. The apartment was small. Cold. One light flickered. The walls were bare except for a crayon drawing taped crookedly in the corner. The little girl sat on the floor, hugging her knees. "Baba," she asked quietly. "Did you find one?" Her father knelt, tears blurring his vision. "Close your eyes." When she opened them, she gasped. Her hands flew to her mouth. "A real cake," she whispered. "For me?" She laughed. The kind of laugh that doesn't know poverty, only joy. She clapped, spun in circles, and hugged her father like he had given her the world. The millionaire stood silently, his throat tight. When the candles were lit, the girl closed her eyes and made a wish. Later, as she slept, the millionaire asked, "What did she wish for?" The father smiled sadly. "She wished I wouldn't be tired anymore." That night, the millionaire didn't sleep. The next morning, the father received a call. Not money. Not pity. A job interview. Training. Stability. A chance. Months passed. The man worked harder than anyone. He arrived early, left late, learned everything he could. He didn't waste the opportunity because he knew what it cost to earn it. A year later, the same bakery saw the door open again. This time, the man walked in confident, clean, holding his daughter's hand. "We're here for her birthday cake," he said. The baker smiled. "What would you like?" "The best one," the man replied. Then he paused and added quietly, "And if you ever see someone asking for an expired cake, please tell them someone once listened." Across the street, the millionaire watched. He realized something that day. He had heard business proposals worth millions. He had heard praise, applause, power. But nothing ever moved him like one father asking for an expired cake, not for himself, but so his daughter wouldn't feel forgotten. Because true wealth isn't what you keep. It's what you change. If this story touched your heart, like the video so others can find it, and subscribe for more stories that remind us kindness can rewrite destiny.